James Curry is managing partner at NfX, the venture fund. He's a four-time serial entrepreneur and one of Silicon Valley's foremost experts in growth and network effects. He's pioneered many of the techniques like viral marketing, A/B testing, and crowdsourcing that are now used by all of the big tech companies. But his early synthetic biology investments include Genome Compiler and Mammoth Biosciences. And now he and NfX want to bring together the whole community to talk about the bio startup draft, now in its second year. James, thank you for joining us today. Tell us about the bio startup draft.
Thanks for having me. So the draft is essentially a new way to use software to help marry up startups with the best and the right investors for them. So we traditionally have a challenge, which is that the VCs have sweet spots. So they're looking for companies at a certain stage, in a certain type of technology, in a certain geography, and they have to sift through thousands of companies to find those that fit in their sweet spot. The founders don't know what their sweet spots are. The VCs have no way of broadcasting it. So what we do with the draft is we get the founders to fill out a company brief, which is answering 14 questions and a video and a deck. And then we present that in software to 20, 30, 40 venture firms that know what their sweet spots are. They can quickly look at them and draft the companies they want into their portfolio, basically by investing in them.
Fantastic. And we have a whole bunch of investors who are on board. They've committed over $10 million in startup funding for the draft. These include not only your firm, NfX, but the firm that I'm an operating partner at, DCVC, Innovation Endeavors, 50 Years, KDT Ventures, Antera, M Ventures, Refactor, and some of our sponsors that are on board as well, including Twist and Ginkgo and Amazon Web Services and GenScript. So some really good people in the community coming together both to fund new startups and to support them. What advice would you give if you're a student out there or you're a founder out there and you're wanting to start a company? What advice would you give to them?
Well, I think this is a great opportunity for you to test out your team and your idea with the top VC investors in the world in the biotech area. You can put together a draft, put together your team, and then float this idea. Last year, we had about 52 founders pull together briefs and enter the draft. About 27 of them were brought into the draft. And then we had over 20 VCs create hundreds of meetings with each of them. And we had 4 funded, and then several went on to go to Y Combinator and other incubators. So it's a great on-ramp for you to test out your team and your idea.
Fantastic. And particularly around the bioeconomy, this whole event is around build with biology. What are some of the trends that you're seeing in the community that you think is particularly unique to this time?
Well, the investor community has been really rocked by COVID and the changes that required. A lot of people decreased the amount of investment they're making. We're hoping that this summer people will be coming out of that, getting back together with the founders, making more investments, cheering up their limited partners and getting going again. We're seeing a lot of interest in the computational and synthetic biology areas. The merger of tech with bio, I think, has been a trend for the last 3-4 years and will be for the next 20 years. It's becoming clear, I think, to investors that, software is not the only place to get great returns, that synthetic biology and computational biology are the places to look for the next 20.
Are there any particular applications or technologies that you're the most excited about?
So we look for business approaches rather than particular technologies, and different VCs are different. And that's why the draft is helpful. It helps founders figure out who's looking for what. We look for businesses that can build platform network effects. So if you look at a company like Mammoth Biosciences, we're invested, there's a platform, we call it a bio platform, where you have IP, but then you also have a computational layer, which the more customers, the more users of the technology you have, the more data flows back into the system, making it faster and better and cheaper for everyone who's using the product. This is a classic network effect, and we're seeing more and more companies try to approach this platform play, and this is the type of business across all sorts of biotechnologies that we're looking at.
Fantastic. I'm super excited about the startup draft. I'm aiming to double our number of startups applying this year from 50 to 100. If you are a startup out there wanting to get involved in the bioeconomy, wanting to build with biology, then don't delay. Go to startupdraft.org today and get your application in before the 30th of June. James, thanks again for partnering with SynBioBeta on the startup draft, and we're excited to see all of these awesome startups that are going to come out of it.
Yeah, thanks so much. I think it's going to be great. Last year proved to be excellent, and this year I think is going to be twice as big. I think the thing for entrepreneurs to really understand, this is private to you. You have complete control over who sees your brief. If there's a VC firm that has a competitive investment, they will not be able to see your brief. You have complete control. This is private to you. You don't have to get on stage and pitch if you don't want to. This is for the very best founders doing the very best companies, and it's all about you. You're in total control.
Fantastic. And also to note that the best of the founders that are selected will have the opportunity to present at SynBioBeta Digital this year, September 1 through 3.
They will, and
So
that'll be in front of hundreds of investors to really get the word out about your company.
absolutely. Thanks again, James, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.